So many of you are going to be studying for your SATs. By the time you get to be like juniors, that's all you're going to care about, your future, right? So you can get into a good school and you can continue growing. And your parents, they work so hard to make sure that you study. They work so hard to make sure you have a brighter future. I want you to remind them that that future includes the air you breathe. And that future includes the water you drink. And if Miami is going to have 2 feet of sea level rise, which is what we're planning for in the next 50 years, that water is going to be salinated. Your water, the water your child will drink, will be salt water. Your trees will not grow in salt water. Your properties are not going to be as valuable. So I need problem solvers, people like you, Madam Mayor, right? People like you, chairman of the surgery department. People like you, banker, who is going to figure out what's going to happen to the mortgage of my house, to understand the complexity of all these problems happening in Miami. If you just cross 7th Street towards the Miami River, it goes down. And if you go towards Brickell, it goes down. And if you go towards Kennedy Park in the Grove, it goes down. So what good is it for you to live at 12 feet in the middle of Shenandoah if you're going to need a canoe to get out of your neighborhood? Right? So we're all in this together. And even if you could stay in Shenandoah and never leave Shenandoah, what about the people who live in Sweetwater and Doral and Florida City? Don't we love them too? Are they not our neighbors? Right? So A, I want you to care. Right? I want you to love one another. And 2, I want you to know that you can make a difference. And that's what this project is about. In the future, climate, it should be now, but in the future, it'll be indisputable that there is no way about talking about anything. Every decision made, from the family decision to global decisions, are all going to be informed by climate, by the scarcity of food, by all the shortages that climate is going to bring, and all the health issues, the direct consequence of climate. So climate is the issue of our time. And for us not to put that on the table like what I tried to do in this class today, to show the interconnection to that, I think is failing the students. And I think it's failing them in 2 ways. One, in not being able to think that way, and in the most obvious way, not informing them of that. Literally censoring, in many ways, the ability for these kind of discussions to happen if they have a tone that may sound political. And what I try to do as an artist is look at creating a cadre of science literate, empathetic or loving, and engaged citizens who are able to connect those dots, who are able to have that understanding, who are able to think critically. And that's the biggest gift you can give a child. You guys live in the house your parents live in. I'm doing this for their house, for your kids' house, so that when you guys get to be my age, and guess what? You will soon look like me. I used to have big hair. You have big hair. But soon, you'll look like this, and that house will still be there, and I want you to make sure that that house has some viability. So what I want you to do is to understand the issue so that you can work in your community and make this something that when your parents talk to you about the things that matter in the future, among all the things, they include climate. And again, if you have data, if you can see the future, if you can visualize a problem, if you can name a problem, then you'll be a little curious about it. Then you'll try to figure out, well, how did that happen? How can we stop it? And then you'll start thinking about ways to solve it.
And Xavier mentioned it earlier, that when you take one of these and you put your number on this with one of these Sharpies, when you take the elevation that you got and you put it here, and you take one of the metal stakes that I had that you just heard, and you stick it in your front yard, people are going to ask you, your friend that comes over, your uncle that comes over, they're going to be like, what is this? Like, that's the whole point. It's weird, it's strange, it's different. They're not going to know what's going on. It's not a political sign, it's not a for sale sign. It is just a number that they're not going to know about. And so then when they see it, they're going to ask you, what's going on here? And in that moment, you have the opportunity to tell them about exactly what that number means, about what we talked about today, about what you've learned about Miami's vulnerability. You can have many conversations just from this.
I developed the underwater to help my neighbors understand their vulnerability to sea level rise and global climate change. And I wanted to give them the tools so that they could actually take action. Here at Miami High, where I sat in these very desks 40 years ago, I learned a lot of skills about how to engage in community, and that happened a lot through volunteerism. I want to instill that sense of community to the 2,700 students who attend Miami High today, because 20 years from now, especially 40 years from now, the class of 2062 is going to see a Miami that's going to have real issues to address vis-a-vis climate change, heat, sea level rise, and I want to be able to allow them to address that now. And I'm doing that by having them create an art piece, a participatory art piece that spans their entire neighborhood.